So many have asked me this beautiful question around the Super Falcons on social media. What are the social media handles? Are they really active on social media? Welcome to the YouTube channel of Richard Nwanje. My name is Richard Nwanje. Yeah, that's my name. We'll follow up the biggest stories around the Super Falcons, the Super Eagles, and today we are following up the Super Falcons. If you are yet to subscribe, don't forget subscribe and get the notification button on so we could follow up all the biggest stories as it concerns the Super Falcons and the Super Eagles. We'll look at the top 4 Super Falcon players who have the highest number of followers on social media. Those players who are making big, deep influence through their social media handles, who are very, very active and posting their everyday life. We have several of them all active, but those that are very, very active, that they always have something to say almost every day on social media. I will talk about the top 4 today, and let's go straight and look at the top 4. Number 4 on the list will be nobody else but the Deborah. Number 4 will be nobody else but Deborah Abiodun. Deborah Abiodun is one of Super Falcons' most vibrant player when it comes to social media. Now, we all know her as Kante, the midfielder who does very well for Super Falcons, but beyond doing well on the field, she has a very active life on social media. Now, with a total of close to 400 over 500,000 followers on social media, she is very, very active. Now, especially on Snapchat, where she always have her snaps going on up out every day. She's also very active on TikTok, where she's we see definitely different posts of her. She's also on X, Twitter, where we also have Deborah Abiodun, and definitely on Instagram. But most she's really popular on Snapchat and TikTok, where she normally uses the name she calls Saint Ayo. So that is Deborah Abiodun, very active on social media. She's on number 4 position of the most active, Super Falcons player on socials, and of course doing well with close to 500,000 talk about followers on all social media handles over. All right, that's how she's in number 4 position. Number 3 is Rasheedat Ajibade, who is doing very, very well on social media also too. Rasheedat Ajibade has a different mix of her own social media lifestyle. She's active on YouTube. This YouTube, yes, you can find her on YouTube. She's also active on on Instagram, very active on Instagram. She's also active on X, and very active also on TikTok. But basically, most of her followers are on Instagram. But she's doing very well. She has a very nice social life. Her social media life is more about preaching the gospel, because definitely she's called the evangelist, the church girl. She do a lot of preaching on her social media handle, and she's at our number 3 position with over 400,000 followers on the different social media handle, whether it's Snap. No, she's not really active on Snap, whether it is TikTok or Instagram or X. So she's on the number 3 position. Rasheedat Ajibade. She normally does the preaching stuff on social media. All right, number 2 would definitely be Michelle Alozie. Michelle Alozie is very active on social media. It's very, very active. Yeah. Just as she's active in the field of play, she's also active on social media, where she do a lot of posting. Basically active on Snapchat. Yeah, it's very active on Snapchat. Same thing on TikTok. She has over 230,000 followers on Instagram, over 300,000 followers on TikTok, and if you put all together plus X, she's doing very well with over 500,000 followers over. So she sits on number 2 position as the most active and of course followed social Super Falcons players on social media. That is Michelle Alozie. And number 1 position is nobody else but the Queen herself. Talk about our very, very own Asatishola, with over 3 million followers across board, whether it's TikTok, Snapchat, all across board. She has over 3 million followers. She's doing very well, active, and she's not just active there with the followers, but she obviously posts almost on a daily basis. So that is I talk about Satishola. I think if she's very interesting, if you follow up on Snapchat, you have a lot of stuffs coming out from there. But it's very, very active. So having close to over 4 million, followers on all social media handle, she sits in the number 1 position as the most active and the most followed Super Falcons player. All right, that is the countdown for you. That is African best player, our number 1 player, and she's the most followed African athlete. So beyond just the most followed Super Falcons player, Asashola is the most followed African athlete. Yeah, with over 4 million followers on all social media handles. Yeah, don't forget, we started with number one. Number four, where we had Deborah Abiondo Kante, where she's doing very well on social media, very active social media with Saint Ayo. We also had Rashidat Achibade rather in the number three position. She's more of the preaching thing, but she's been able to, grasp a lot of followers on Instagram and TikTok and even YouTube, where she has close to 400,000, over 400,000 followers. While number two was Misha Alozie. Misha Alozie is doing very well with the whole modeling stuff. She has a lot of stuff that beyond the football. You see her on social media. She's like a real model. She has over 500,000 followers. And number one is nobody else but the Queen of African Football with over 5 million followers on all social media handles. All right, so follow them on social media and get to know them better and see what they are doing with their lives, because they have a very interesting life outside the game of soccer. If you see them, you follow them up on social media, you will see the other parts of them. Just like how I spoke about Misha Alozie, more of that fashionista when it comes to social media in life. Yeah, speak about Ajibade. She is a preacher. Saint Ayo, which is Deborah Abiondo, she has more of those vibes, vibing to music and everything. So they are all very active on social media. Follow them up and of course enjoy the other part of the Super Falcons players. My name is Richard, and what is all we have for today. I see you next time. Subscribe.